What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode on EI Entertainment Studios, back at it with another debate episode. Today's debate episode, we're going to be talking about Shin Mecha Godzilla versus Shin Anguirus. So here's the plan, folks. We're going to go over the backstories of two of these giant kaijus, characteristics, abilities, as I said, the backstory. We're going to dive deep into these kaijus. Now, once we're done talking about these kaijus, we're going to put them up against each other in a death battle. Now, I'll get way more into detail when we get there. So without further ado, let's get into the backstory of Shin Anguirus. So, Shin Anguirus came to existence after a porcupine was blasted with the red body fluid of Shin Godzilla, which has its DNA. And the porcupine was mutated but did not grow large until an evil scientist named Divo took the porcupine and injected it with T-Rex DNA to make it exponentially larger, and the Shin DNA activated and it made it even larger with superior abilities. Now, the height of Shin Anguirus is approximately 90 meters, but this is where he shines. His length is 387 meters approximately. Now, he's very long, not that tall, but he is very long. That's, I have to say, I'm sorry, I have to say it. That's what she said. But anyways, let's keep on going. Abilities. I'm going to quickly skim over the abilities. We're going to finish off Shin Anguirus, and then we're going to come back and do a deep analysis of every single ability. But for now, I'm going to do a quick skim. Abilities goes as follows. Spike Blast, Rolling Thunder, Flesh Split, Regeneration, Adaptation, Fuse Focused Laser Blast. Now, don't worry, as I said, we're going to come back to these and do a deep analysis of every single ability. We're almost there, just give me 1 second. Let's go to Territorial. Level is medium. Aggression level is indeed maximum. Biome is actually unlimited, and I'll explain that in the abilities right now. So let's go back to the abilities and let's do a deep analysis. So, Spike Blast. This is a very good ability. So, you know how, in this case, in this backstory, Shin Anguirus is actually a porcupine. So that means he can actually shoot the spikes out of his body. However, they are now mutated with T-Rex DNA and Shin DNA. Now the Shin DNA is going to be way more dominant, or have the taller or more possessive allele, which means like the more capital allele. Like, for example, if we were to go off genetics, like a big P and a small p, the big P would be more dominant, if you've ever learned biology. So in this case, if we were to rate it in biology-wise, the Shin attributes would be the capital P in the genetic formula, and the T-Rex DNA would be the lowercase p, therefore being not having some small things because it is a mutation, however, not being the dominance, as in not having most of the traits. Most of the traits will be from the big P, which would be for Shin Godzilla DNA. Now, I was saying that this means that this creature is full of radiation, and radiation produces atomic breath, as we know in the body of Godzilla. Now, Shin DNA is from Godzilla, so this will create radiation blasts. So what this ability is Shin Anguirus can shoot the spikes out of his back, but the spikes are very sharp and they have tips of radiation that actually are super hot and melt the flesh. So these spikes, when they hit the flesh, they actually dig into the skin and start melting the flesh, or you can say the organs inside of the body. Very powerful ability. Next we have Rolling Thunder. Basically, this is an ability that Shin Anguirus actually balls up into a circle and rolls and hits his opponent, or rams into his opponent, and because of the friction and the radiation, a big cloud of thunder blasts and causes electricity spike on the opponent. Very, again, good ability. Next we have the Flesh Split. Now this is coming from Shin DNA again. This is a bit gruesome. Shin Anguirus can split himself into two by cutting his flesh in half if he needed to avoid or to kind of evade a creature or an opponent or whatever you want to call it. So he can split his flesh in two and come back again come connected again whenever he wishes to. It's more of a defensive ability, not offensive. More of a defensive ability. Next we have regeneration. Shin Anguirus can regenerate his health due to Shin DNA capabilities. Next we have adaptation, or we could call it evolution. Evolution, adaptation, he adapts and evolves to the situation. For this to make sense, if you've ever seen the movie Shin Godzilla, you'll know that he has 4 forms. Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, Form 4, and the reason why he changes forms is to adapt and evolve to the situation. And he evolves a way that would have taken millions of years according to scientists in the movie, but it does it within mere seconds. So he can evolve and adapt to any situation needed to be, in this case for Shin Anguirus. Next we have Fuse Focused Laser Blast. So this is a very interesting one, very similar to the Spike Blast, but not exactly. Shin Anguirus can roll into a ball and just stands there, and then focuses a fuse blast inside of him, and then just gets a big radiation blast going from all directions and just blasts the opponent, kind of like burning Godzilla, kind of like an ability like burning Godzilla in Godzilla King of the Monsters from Warner Brothers. If you've seen it, I'm sure you've seen it. Okay, folks, this sums up Shin Anguirus. Now let's go to... Well, actually, wait. 1 second. I could do this. I could explain to you the Biome being unlimited right now, or I could save it and explain it while Shin Mecha Godzilla, because Shin Mecha Godzilla actually has the Biome unlimited because of the same reason. So that's what we'll do. I said I'll explain to you right now, but excuse me for that one. We'll hold it, and we'll actually explain it in Shin Mecha Godzilla's abilities, because the same ability, because they both have Shin DNA. So, we'll do that. So, without further ado, let's begin with the backstory of Shin Mecha Godzilla. So, Shin Mecha Godzilla came into existence after Shin Godzilla was injected with the coagulant and froze. DNA samples from Shin Godzilla's body had fallen to the ground, and elite biologists collected the samples and kept them alive with the correct temperature and placed the DNA samples into a Godzilla-like metal-built body, so the DNA could evolve and adapt into the metal body and form a brain. After 13 days, the DNA evolution cycle was complete, and a half robotic and half flesh Godzilla was born, known as Shin Mecha Godzilla. That sounds much better. I like that. Now, the height of Shin Mecha Godzilla is approximately 196 meters tall. So he's a big one. Now, abilities, we're going to do a quick skim. Super Laser Ray, Gliding ability, Laser Rockets, Scan Missiles, Prediction ability, Solar Recharge, and Adaptation ability. After that, we have Territorial level is maximum, Aggression level is maximum, and Biome is unlimited. Therefore, I said we just held it off of Shin Anguirus, and we're just going to explain it here, because they both have the Biome unlimited because of the same exact reason. So I'll explain in this one. So let's go back to the abilities, and let's do a deep analysis of every single ability that Shin Mecha Godzilla has. However, I do have a quick, tiny disclaimer. The abilities will have the same name if you're a recurrent watcher. The disclaimer is that they might have their functionality altered just a tiny bit here and there to fit the opponent, but they have the same name. So you might notice that if you're a constant watcher of the debate videos. Just a quick disclaimer to let you know. Anyways, let's continue. Super Laser Ray. Very powerful ability. It is basically a perfected version of Shin Godzilla's laser in an AI body with his DNA. It's very sharp, it cuts through flesh, and it's very strong. It just cuts through the body, and it just basically rips and melts flesh. Super Laser Ray. Now, with the gliding ability. The gliding ability means Shin Mecha Godzilla can actually glide around, but he can also ram into his ability. I was going to say ram into his abilities, but ram into his opponent is what I mean. He can ram into his opponents very, very easily. And that could do a lot of damage if you ask me. Alright. Now, next we have the laser rockets. The laser rockets are basically this. They're rockets that are shot from his body to the opponent, and what happens is it's not just a laser, or excuse me, not just a rocket, but once the rocket explodes and then the laser portion opens, and what happens is after the rocket explodes on the body, the lasers themselves, what they do is they pop open and they start like gripping the flesh of the opponent, which is a super powerful ability. Imagine getting hit by a rocket and then lasers just open up and completely destroy the body. That's what it basically is. And it's very, in my opinion, very powerful. Okay, next we have scan missiles. By far, this is one of the more powerful abilities. The scan missile is basically this. One way I would put it to you is imagine a heatwave signal if you've seen Predator. And basically what happens is, anytime an opponent wants to use an ability, these missiles will detect it and will shoot at the part of the body that needs to be used for the ability to be finished. So for example, if I could give you an analogy, for example, Godzilla. Assume that Shin Mecha Godzilla is fighting a Godzilla. Forget about Shin Anguirus for a second. If Godzilla were to use the atomic breath, the scan missiles would shoot the dorsal plates. If not successful, they would quickly shoot the mouth to stop the atomic breath from coming out. They're intelligent and they're undependent or independent on Shin Mecha Godzilla, so they automatically work whether he wants it or not. Very powerful defensive ability. It's offensive in my opinion as well. Next we have prediction ability, and basically this is very similar to scan missiles, but what this is Shin Mecha Godzilla can predict the movements after learning the opponent. So a few times an opponent uses a move, after like a few minutes of that using the move, Shin Mecha Godzilla will learn it and study it and will predict every movement and will start to counter everything. Very powerful ability. Solar Recharge is a perfected version of a solar panel. You can recharge at night, still find the sun through night and through clouds, and will constantly fight and not get tired because it's constantly getting charged by solar panels through the Solar Recharge. And the Adaptation ability, which we can evolve and adapt the way the robot functions because of Shin DNA. And going back to the Biome, which I was going to explain for both, I will explain it now. The reason why both of Shin Anguirus and Shin MechaGodzilla's biomes are unlimited because they can adapt and evolve unlimited. For example, if Shin DNA can adapt and evolve to any situation, let's say Shin MechaGodzilla or even Shin Anguirus were thrown into space, they would change their ways. Especially for Shin Anguirus, they would adapt a way where he could actually breathe in space because his body is very adaptable. Or if thrown into lava, the body would adapt in a way to live in lava. That's basically what it means. Okay folks, I am so happy. Why? Because we're done with explaining both of these kaijus. Now we can go and do the death battle. So here's the plan folks. We're gonna go best out of 2. When I say best out of 2, we're gonna do close range and far range. And the reason why I do this, far range tests the opponent's abilities out by limiting them. So we're gonna see by limited factors of abilities, can these opponents still win a battle? And close range is just all out death. So let's begin with far range. Here's the rules. Both these kaijus cannot get closer than 700 meters apart. So they have to be 700 meters apart and cannot get closer. So some of the abilities are going to be cancelled out. So let's start with Shin Mecha Godzilla and let's see what abilities he can and cannot use in this debate battle in terms of far range. So Super Laser Ray will work. Gliding ability, he can glide around but cannot go close to the opponent. So I guess he can evade the opponent. Laser rockets will work. Scan missiles will not work. They need to be close to the opponent. Prediction ability will not work. He cannot predict from that far. Solar Recharge will work and Adaptation ability will work. So basically every ability will work except Scan missiles and Prediction ability. Now, that's actually 2 of the biggest abilities that he's losing right now, just FYI. Now, for Shin Anguirus, let's see what abilities he can and cannot use. Spike Blast will not work from 700 meters apart. They're very strong, but they're not as far going as 700 meters. Rolling Thunder will also not work because he can't ram into the opponent. Flesh Split will indeed work, but we'll see if he needs a need for that, but it's a defensive ability, so it will work. Regeneration will work. Adaptation, Fuse, Focus, Laser... Oh, excuse me. Let's go one by one. Adaptation will work, and the Fuse, Focus, Laser Blast will work as well. So basically, the Spiked Blast is not going to work, and the Rolling Thunder is basically no good as well, and everything else is fine. But there's only one offensive ability to actually use in this. So, in far range, I personally see Shin Mecha Godzilla being the first one to strike, as being artificial intelligent and probably realizing he's there even quicker. And I see Shin Mecha Godzilla using the Super Laser Ray to start trying to destroy Shin Anguirus. And obviously, he's going to start aiming for the top, and the head, the whole body, only the bottom of the body is covered in armor. So, it's not going to do as much damage, because the armor is just going to hit it, and it's going to reflect off the armor, and it's just going to keep on going back and forth there. And I see Shin Anguirus as personally, taking this, he's just going to roll into a ball until Shin Mecha Godzilla stops using that ability, so you can see what the hell he's gonna do. But until Shin Mecha Godzilla doesn't stop using that Super Laser Ray, Shin Anguirus is not gonna come out of that ball formation. Because remember, that porcupine body definitely protects him, right? However, when he does open up, he can use the Fuse Focused Laser Blast. And it's just going to fuse, because he's rolled up. Remember, he's already rolled up. He needs to roll up for this. He can roll up, stay rolled up actually, and then just focus, and then just get that big, burning, melting blast and send it out to Shin Mecha Godzilla. When that hits Shin Mecha Godzilla, that's going to cause some wire circuits to explode, and it's going to make him malfunction a little bit. Now, unfortunately, he does not have scanning vessels or prediction ability to learn this, so the only thing he can do here is just start using Super Laser Ray and Laser Rockets. But I personally believe from that far distance, Shin Anguirus' body will protect him, and therefore Shin Anguirus will win this far range battle because of the porcupine body and the Fuse Focused Laser Blast. Now, that's just my opinion. As I said, you can always debate me in the comment section below. Now, let's go into the next one. So right, it's 1-0. Let's go to close range, where it's all-out battle. Now, let's take into consideration. Shin Mecha Godzilla is 196 meters tall. Okay. Shin Mecha Godzilla is 90 meters tall. However, there's always a big but. Shin Anguirus is 387 meters long. So he's pretty long. And what does that mean? That means very good tail whips. That means focusing and losing that balance. That's very important in battles, to have that balance. So when they go face to face, the first thing I already know that Shin Anguirus is going to do is going to just abuse that tail whip, and he's just going to keep on throwing Shin Mecha Godzilla down. But Shin Mecha Godzilla learns with the prediction ability and will just stay in gliding format. And when he stays in gliding format, guess what's going to happen? Shin Anguirus is going to use the Rolling Thunder, hit once on the ground, bounce up, and just roll in midair, or roll and fly in midair, and just blast and just ram into Shin Mecha Godzilla and just break at least some part of his body, right? And once he does that, he can use the Spike Blast. As I said, it shoots in and then starts melting the interior of the robotic body here, and then just combo it with the Fuse Focus Laser Blast. And the scan missiles will not be able to work here. Why? Because he's been blasted onto the ground, and he has actually made a malfunction. When he malfunctions, his body can't work, and therefore if he combos the Spike Blast and the Fuse Focus Laser Blast, I personally believe that he will defeat Shin Mecha Godzilla. Because remember, there is Shin DNA intelligence, but it is AI, and AI tends to get destroyed like that. And therefore, I believe Shin Anguirus will be the winner. Obviously, 2-0. Obviously, if you don't agree with me, you can easily debate with me because in the comment section below, because I will leave all the abilities and characteristics in the description of this video below. And anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this and are not subscribed, please consider subscribing. We are big Godzilla fans here. We love Godzilla. Godzilla is the best thing ever. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, have a wonderful and great, amazing, perfect, wonderful day.